Look, I have no regret of saying I want to remain in the ANC. I've got no regret. I would have corrected the ANC from within. Because I've never wanted to form a political party, and I will never form another political party if this EFF expels me. It's not a child's play. You don't just wake up in the morning and then you say you form it. It's difficult. We are still forming it even now, 10 years down the line. I said to them, take my membership, suspend me for 10 years without occupying. Leave my membership, suspend me for 10 years plus without me occupying any position of responsibility. Why is he still having a farm to take my farm? You know why black people are scared of white people? It's not a joke. Even me. When I see a white person, my attitude changes. Like, we're traumatized people. Then my political conscience has to kick in. Aye, don't try those things with me, man. But otherwise, the first reaction is we need to get ourselves.
Accents change.
Yes. So I've got a white security guy. When he sees that there's going to be a problem there, and he's working from behind, he moves to the front. They're going to open.
Yeah.
And then I say to him, no, don't move to the front. Let this one go. You're going to find that guy still explaining where he was born and
So please allow Honorable Malema to conclude his speech. Honorable Malema.
No, I'm not concluding, Chair. I still have a lot of time. I've got 40 minutes. So to say I must conclude, you can't dictate to me. I'm still speaking.
No, of course, I'm not saying that you should cut on your time. All I'm saying is that please conclude.
I get it. You asked me a question.
Please conclude, yeah.
And then you wanted me to answer.
On a point of order.
I'm now answering. Because if you want,
just a minute, Honorable Mambesala, point of order.
I can be very personal. You want to be personal, I can be very personal.
Please, Honorable Malema, just a minute.
Honorable Julius, you can sit down now. Chairperson, Honorable Malema is casting aspersions on the president. The question was about him and only him. Now, when he responds and decides to respond, he must respond to the question and not cast aspersions on the president. So he must withdraw, Chair, through you. Thank you.
No, indeed, Honorable Malema.
House Chair, on a point of order.
Now sit down. Sit down.
No, but we have been raising hands.
Consistency. Please sit.
Yeah, but recognize us.
I will.
Please do.
I will. Please sit down. Honorable Malema.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the remarks that we have made, and I'm sure you won't deny this, is this comment on the president. Can you please withdraw the remark?
No, wait, DP, wait. The question was, Chair, gender-based violence. What's my take on that? And then extended to, do you abuse your wife? So I answered the question on the wife. I'm now dealing with my perspective on gender-based violence. It must not be gender-based violence when it comes to Julius Malema, and when it comes to your president, it's not gender-based violence. I'm a president of an organization too. And I shall treat your president the same way you treat me.
Honorable Malema.
Now, I want to tell you.
Honorable Malema.
You asked me about gender-based violence.
Honorable
I'm
Malema.
with the president. I'm still going to others.
Honorable Malema, I've asked you a clear, direct question. And I've asked you to withdraw what we have said about the president. I'm requesting you to do that.
House Chairperson, with the greatest respect.
If you can just indicate what your response is to that.
With the greatest respect, Chair, point of order.
Honorable Ndlozi, please sit down.
Chair, with the greater, I want to assist you.
Can you please sit down?
I want to assist you, Chair, respectfully.
Order, Chairperson.
But the aspersions is not what the CIC...
Order, Chairperson.
sit
Boys, sit down. Order, Chairperson.
Please sit down. Thank you very much.
Order, Chairperson.
Can I
Chair.
again, honorable members? Can I please ask honorable members, please to sit down. Please sit down. It's me pleading with you to please sit down as a presiding officer. Honorable Malema, can you please respond to what I'm asking you to do? I'm asking you to withdraw the remark that has been made about the president.
Okay. Let me explain this thing maybe different.
Draw.
No, you don't want the truth. You don't want the truth. That's the problem. Now, I've said, and I'm prepared to withdraw.
Withdraw.
But I said, in answering your question, 1, I don't beat up my wife. 2, my lawyers have written a letter to Honorable Mamabolo because he repeated it outside. Why is that important? It's important because if you have nothing to hide, you must take it to court, Mr. Malema. So I've taken it. He must pay me 1 million, or else I'm taking him to court. He has received the letter to show that I'm not hiding anything about abusing my wife. Can the president answer the question? Did he beat his late wife? That's a question we must answer.
Honorable Malema.
Because I've been asked the same question in this house about
Honorable
my wife.
Malema.
The president has got a history
Honorable
of beating
Malema.
up his wife, the late wife, and I'm following in the same steps
Point of
you
order.
have been following.
Can we have order?
You came
On a
here
point
to
of order,
start
Chairperson.
personal
Order.
battles without
On a point of
knowing
order,
what
Chair.
are the
Point of order,
implications
Point of order, Chair.
those
Point
battles.
of order.
Honorable
Chair,
Malema.
point of
To fight
order.
like that, that's how we
Chair,
fight.
point of order.
Honorable Malema.
Chair, point
Answered
of
your
order.
question.
Order, Chairperson.
No history of abuse, the history of love.
Order, Chairperson.
That's me for you.
On a point of order.
I don't have
Order.
history of abusing women. I'm in love. I'm happily married.
Please.
I don't have
Honorable Malema, please sit
an
down.
ex-wife that says I was beating her up. And for
Point
your
of order,
point of
Chair.
order,
Honorable
Chair.
Malema,
Point of
please
order,
sit
Chair.
down.
President Zuma
Chair,
can
on a point
confirm
of order.
that Noma Zizi, the ex-wife
Chair,
of
on
the
a point of
president,
order.
used to complain to President Zuma
Chair, on a point
about
of
being
order.
abused by the president.
Chair, on a point of order.
On a point of order, Chair.
Chair, on a
Bring it
point
on.
of order.
Well, and I'm not scared of all of you.
Chair,
All
on a
of you
point of
combined.
order.
I'm not
On a
scared
point
of
of order,
nothing.
Chair.
Honorable
I'm
Malema.
not
Can you
scared
ask
of
speak to
affection.
Honorable Malema.
But I'm not scared of you.
On a point of order, Chair.
Honorable Malema.
Chair, on a point of order.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you last time, Honorable Malema? Order, members. Can I ask you for the last time, Honorable Malema?
But Chair, who said you were scared of him?
Please withdraw the remark. And if you don't want to withdraw the remark, I'm about to ask you to leave the house.
You don't want the truth.
Hey,
Your
withdraw,
president
withdraw.
abused his ex-wife.
Hey, withdraw.
It's a reality. You can abuse power the way you want to abuse it.
No,
You come to me and you say to me, I abuse my wife. I give you the facts. Now I take the respond with the facts.
But
That's your president abuse. That's your president.
Honorable Malema.
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not.
Did your president
ordering you to leave the house.
Withdraw.
You come to me. I answer you. I'm even telling you to court about it. To show I've got nothing to hide.
Honorable Malema,
Who said you are scared of you? President, you come to me with the nonsense, I'll give you nonsense. Not scared of nothing.
Honorable Malema, please leave the house.
I'm not part of your fiction. I can leave the house now.
It's
The
undemocratic.
fact remains. Mama Zizi must rest in peace. She was abused by your president.
Before Honorable Malema leaves the house.
Leave.
Honorable Malema, please leave the house.
Leave the house.
Dictator is a dictator. The only speaker in his own party. A dictator. Leave. Useless.
Hamba sticks. Hamba.
Honorable Chair, can the bodyguards also follow their master?
Take your puppets with you. Take your puppets.
Bodyguard, follow the master.
White people, you will no longer eat alone. We are coming to sit on the dinner table, and if you are refusing us on the dinner table, we are going to destroy that dinner table. No one is going to eat until all of us in South Africa eat from the same dinner table.
There's no corruption in China. You'll die. They'll kill you. There's no corruption in Cuba. Those are socialist states. They are driven by the interest of the people. So in a capitalist society, the interest is, I must make as much money as possible. Even, let's take Eskom for instance. There is absolutely nothing wrong with Eskom. You must make it dysfunctional before you sell it, so that everybody buys into the idea of you selling it. There was nothing wrong with SAA. There was an airline now recently privately owned. It collapsed, it failed. And then you are privatizing the SAA because you want to create an impression that when they are privately owned, they are successful. What about this privately owned one that has just collapsed? Who's that Elon Musk? So some McG wannabe, one of these podcast people who failed with a very low followers, for sure his relatives only that are following him. He says, I must educate Elon Musk. What is that? No, the one of Twitter. Elon Musk. I must educate Elon Musk. Why must I educate Elon Musk? He looks like an illiterate.
Information, the master. To learn information, log it. Kichi, Chima, Zipram Konto, Alliance, Onke Laban, Ebaget, Celta Chile, Elaget, shoot to kill, the master. Shoot to kill, kill away. Shoot.
I'm just
I'm very interested when you talk about we and they. We're roughly the same age. I was 12 when Madiba was released from prison, and I was 14 when the election happened. I'm a medical doctor. I work sometimes 160-hour weeks. I work sometimes 18 hours a day, and I own property because of that reason. And it sounds to me that you're suggesting that I should do all that work and come to this point in my life and now just hand away my property. And that concerns me.
National case, if you were to stand up and say, I went to school and I'm a medical doctor and the property I have is because I went to school and I bought it. But most of your people didn't buy any property, they inherited it. So it's an exceptional case. No, you can disagree, but the reality is that you are in possession of a land that was stolen from us. And we want it back without any apology. We want that land back, and we are going to work together. I can tell you now, whether you are in denial or not, the demand for the land is growing and people are becoming impatient. And we don't want Zimbabwe here. We don't want Zimbabwe in this country. It has to be done legally, procedurally, in a manner that is not going to put the country and the economy in a disaster. We have to talk about it. We have to say, how do we, in a proper manner, make sure that everyone benefit from this land? So, you know, Mr. Santa will know, and those who were involved in the negotiations and pre-negotiations, that when it was inevitable for democracy to be ushered in, most of the corrupt state officials began to transfer land into the names of individuals. When we're building a road in Northwest, expanding a road in Northwest from Rustenburg to Mafikeng, the state had to now get into some farms so that, because they didn't have land reserves, so they had to go and take some portions of land as they go along. And then made a call. All those who were affected by our expropriation of land, please come forward so that we can compensate you. Very few people turned up. And the suspicion is that they do not have title deeds. People just declared, this is my land. Just before 1994. So, don't individualize a big problem. It's like when I say there is racism in this country and you come to me, but I'm not a racist. I'm not talking about you. If you're not racist, why are you worried? But generally there is a problem of racism. It's not about an individual. It's a group problem. It is an institutionalized problem. We have to deal with it. And if we don't talk about it, we will not recognize it as a problem. And because we have not recognized it as a problem, now we will not be in a position to solve that problem. You can't solve the problems which you have not identified. So let us not be sensitive. I mean, you are a graduate, you are a doctor, you own a piece of property. I've got a black doctor here with me, very young also, a graduate, and he owns property. We're not taking your property only. We're talking also his property, the flat he owns, a flat size. His flat is almost the size of your bathroom for sure. But even that, we're taking from him. So it's not about a black or white. All of us, we need to surrender our land to the state and give that state an opportunity to allocate it for proper use. You can shake your hand, I'm proposing a peaceful solution. You're refusing it, you will surrender it to the revolution.
To learn formation, Namasa. To learn formation, Laget, Kichi Kichi, Kichima, Zipram Konto, Alliance, Onke Laban, Ebaget, Celta Tile, Elaget, shoot to kill, Namasa, shoot to kill, kill away.
When the white people came here and took our land, they didn't come and take our land as an individual. They took it as settlers and then pushed us to a land that is not even productive and made us to stay like sardines in congested environments with no economic opportunities. It is white people who must be ashamed of what they've done to us. You cannot turn tables now and want to blame me for the crimes committed by white people. It is a white regime that killed children in 1976. It is the white regime that killed children in the 80s and in the early 90s. It is white people who engaged in the wars of dispossession and forcefully took our land and our cows. Why can't you take responsibility? Why can't you for once just say sorry for the crimes we've committed against you? Why do you want to become victims when we are the biggest victims here? When we have lost everything? When we as black people remain a traumatized nation? A nation that doesn't know what the future holds for them. At least you are guaranteed the future. At least you know if it doesn't work for you here, you can go somewhere else. We've got nowhere to go. And then you come here and want to accuse me, a victim of racism, of being a racist. It's a huge insult, not only to me, but to black people. Madiba coerced us into reconciling with people who have never been one with. That was a myth. It is unrealistic. You can't reconcile if you've never been together. You never came here with an intention to be with us. You came here with an intention to conquer us, and we remain conquered.
You're using this term you, and this is the Tashram reality. You want to say that you, me, white people, are the same as people from 1652, from 350 years ago.
You are the same.
You want to say it's the same.
You are the same. You are the same.
There is no song, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. That's a chant. We over-explained it in court. If you have a problem with it, go to the records of the courts. Don't be lazy to read, man, and ask me the same thing all again and again and again. And I won in court. The court said there's nothing wrong singing kill the Boer, kill the farmer. When do we respect the judgments of the court? And when do we disrespect the judgments of the court? When they favor Helen Zille, we must respect them. When they don't favor Helen Zille, we must not respect them. There is a court decision that must be respected. Those who have appealed it, they must go and fight it in court. We won, and we shall sing this song in line with the court decision. The court of South Africa, an independent court, has made a declaration on this matter and is closed. This is sponsored outrage by Helen Zille. You know, black people, there are some black, clever blacks who are told by Helen Zille to get angry. Yo, Helen is angry, now we must be angry also. They wait for a Magogo with a wrinkled Botox face. How do Botox and wrinkles go into? That's a face of a devil. A devil. Botox with a wrinkled face, pretending that she's angry. If Helen Zille was genuinely opposed to this, I don't even want to talk about that illiterate John Steenhuisen. If Helen was opposed to this for real, why didn't Helen join the case? Why didn't the DA join the case when I was taken to Equality Court? Why didn't the Freedom Front join the case if they are genuine? So I'm not going to over-explain myself, and no wrinkled Botox fake face shall make me over-explain myself. I will sing this.